everyone. You're watching Tech Scope News. I'm Tiffani Neilson, the CMO of IoT Marketing, and joining me is Johannes Beekman, the company's CEO and founder. How are you today, Johannes?
I'm doing great, Tiffani. How are you?
Fantastic. And this is our first broadcast under the new name of Tech Scope News. And many of you may have watched our prior news broadcast, IoT Marketing Live. But as the world continues to shift and evolve, so do we. In order to provide you with what we feel are the most impactful tech news stories, we rebranded to expand the conversation. And so to kick things off, I watched the Kentucky Derby this past weekend, and I was interested to hear that the event was powered by IoT. And Churchill Downs hosted the running of the 151st Kentucky Derby on May 3rd. And like many other IoT use cases, while seemingly invisible, IoT technology was behind the scenes and on the track, making it one of the best experiences yet. Johannes, can you tell us more about the tech advancements used for this year's Kentucky Derby?
Oh, absolutely, Tiffani. So this year's Kentucky Derby leaned heavily on technology delivered seamless fan and broadcast experience. First of all, Churchill Downs partnered with Lumen Technologies to deploy a network as a service solution, scaling bandwidth from a typical 2 to 3 Gbps to 200 Gbps during Derby week. That meant flawless Wi-Fi for over 385,000 on-site fans and instant mobile transactions at concessions and betting windows. Behind the scenes, SAP served as the official data engine, aggregating real-time metrics across ticketing, crowd flow, and security checkpoints. Even event organizers could spot and resolve bottlenecks before they became issues, keeping everything running on time. On the broadcast side, NBC integrated 2 live IoT-enabled drones, one tracking the horses on the backstretch, another capturing fan reactions in the stands, plus dozens of connected cameras around the track. The result was immersive, multi-angle coverage that felt both intimate and expansive. In short, by combining next-gen networking, advanced analytics, and aerial imaging, this year's Derby set a new standard for smart sporting events.
Thanks, Johannes. And IoT Marketing recently held the Green Things Summit, featuring a variety of experts, industry leaders, and solution providers, attracting thousands of international attendees. And the live virtual event was filled with bold ideas, fresh insights, and inspiring conversations about building a greener, smarter future. From groundbreaking tech innovations to powerful discussions on green tech, sustainability, biodiversity, and resilience, the momentum we created is just the beginning. We're excited to keep that energy going and to see these insights spark real-world action and change. So a big thank you to all of the speakers, sponsors, and media partners for being a part of the event, and to our team at IoT Marketing for making it a success. And for anyone who missed the event, you can still register and access all the content at iotmktg.com. Anything else to add about the event, Johannes?
Just want to reiterate, we had a very strong lineup, and yes, we're always on the cutting edge of technology. So look at the event login into the event, or later on look at the VOD channel for the information that you're looking for. And it was a great event. We had a couple of thousand of attendees, and definitely an event that you want to participate in and that you want to attend.
Thanks, Johannes. And one topic that we discussed during the Green Things Summit was sustainable shopping powered by AI, in a great session from Ashish Chatterjee of Innovate Green. And OpenAI is making it even easier to shop with AI in their recent announcement that users will soon be able to buy products through ChatGPT. The rollout of shopping buttons for AI-powered search queries will come to everyone, whether they are a signed-in user or not. So Johannes, what makes this capability unique and better than traditional searching on platforms such as Google?
Well, Tiffani, OpenAI's new feature, which was officially released last week, turns ChatGPT into your personal product scout. Instead of a list of links, you get a rich carousel of product cards, images, prices, star ratings, and brief specs, all right in the chat. You can also ask follow-ups on the fly, like, do these come in black, or which one has longer battery life? And it will instantly refine recommendations. It aggregates reviews and real-time prices from across the web, not just one retailer, and critically, there are no paid placements or ads skewing the results. I should add yet, because it's going to be also tempting to put ads in this spot. But anyway, right now you can click through directly to the merchant site to buy. And what really sets it apart, that it is conversational, like ChatGPT. You can narrow your search, compare models side by side, and even get tailored suggestions based on your earlier chat. As it evolves, especially with the rumored Shopify integration, you might even complete checkout without ever leaving the conversation.
Thanks, Johannes. And another area that we discussed during the Green Things Summit was weather tech, with a great session featuring Scott McCarrow of Vizsla X Weather. And the next story takes weather tech to a whole new level. Lightning strikes represent one of the most destructive natural phenomena impacting human society. Knowing where and when lightning may strike is a significant challenge, and even existing methods to protect critical infrastructure don't always succeed. However, this may be about to change. According to Japanese telecommunications company Nippon Telegraph and Telephone Corporation, NTT, a new method for summoning lightning may be appearing in the skies before too long. NTT claims to have achieved a world's first by successfully triggering and drawing lightning using a drone that harnesses electric field fluctuations. The drone does this through a nifty flying lightning protection cage that's designed to prevent it from malfunctioning or getting damaged, even when directly struck. NTT hopes that such cage-equipped drones could protect cities and important infrastructure in the future, as they work towards a society free from lightning-related damage, they said in a statement. And their new drone-triggered lightning technique involves flying a protected drone into position of an approaching storm cloud and actively triggering a strike, the discharge of which can then be safely guided away from vulnerable places. Johannes, can you tell us more about their lightning triggering experiment?
Sure, Tiffany. So let me walk you through NTT's lightning experiment. Last winter, near Hamada City in Japan, they launched a heavy lift drone equipped with a special lightning protection cage right into an active thundercloud. Ground sensors kept an eye on the storm's electric field, and once it approached about 2,000 volts per meter, which is the point where lightning is about to strike, a technician flew the drone to roughly 300 meters below the cloud base. A lightweight conductive tether connected the drone to a high voltage ground switch, and when that switch was closed, the charge raised up the tether to the cage, creating a brilliant blue bolt. Even though part of the cage melted from the heat, the drone stayed aloft and was unharmed. So in many ways, this feels like a modern echo of Benjamin Franklin's 1752 kite experiment, but with far more control, of course, and safety. So instead of a kite and a metal key, NTT had a reinforced drone acting as a mobile lightning rod guided by live electric field data. The goal, of course, is to steer strikes away from critical sites, think power stations, wind farms, stadiums, and even capture some of that energy. Franklin's experiment proved that lightning is electricity. NTT shows us how we might harness it, protecting infrastructure and supplementing our power supply.
Thanks, Johannes. I love the Ben Franklin reference. And forests cover about 1/3 of the Earth's land and absorb an estimated 8 billion tons of carbon dioxide annually, playing a crucial role in regulating climate. However, deforestation and land use changes are rapidly returning that carbon to the atmosphere. Until now, we lacked the tools to precisely measure how much carbon forests hold or how fast they are losing it. But the European Space Agency, or ESA, has successfully launched Biomass, the first satellite in the world capable of peering through dense forest canopies. This groundbreaking mission aims to deliver measurements of the Earth's biomass, helping scientists to better understand the carbon cycle and track changes in global forests. Johannes, what makes biomass a revolutionary radar in space?
So, biomass revolutionary radar gives its ability to peer right through the densest forest canopies and measure the woody biomass where most of the carbon is stored. Biomass satellite carries the first P-band synthetic aperture radar ever sent into orbit. And that is a major technological leap. Unlike other satellite radars using shorter wavelengths, biomass's radar can penetrate cloud, rains, and thick layers of foliage, allowing it to scan the woody parts of trees such as trunks and branches, where most of the forest carbon is stored. Its 12-meter deployable antenna and low-frequency radar operate at around 435 megahertz, giving unprecedented sensitivity to biomass variations across the globe. So by delivering precise, global measurements of forest carbon, biomass will transform our understanding of the carbon cycle and help track deforestation and forest degradation in real time.
Thanks, Johannes. And the Hampshire startup Jiva Materials is developing the world's first fully recyclable substrate for printed circuit boards, or PCBs. And they head to Taiwan this month to showcase their proposition. The firm has been chosen to join the Soft Landing program designed to support international startups entering Taiwan's tech ecosystem. Over 3 weeks, the Jiva team will engage with key stakeholders, explore partnerships, and present how its biodegradable PCBs can help drive sustainability in the global electronics supply chain. Johannes, considering your semiconductor background, how do you feel that this is truly a breakthrough?
So, yes, first of all, thanks for the question, Tiffani. And yes, this is a genuine breakthrough. For decades, well, forever, printed circuit boards have relied on non-recyclable glass fiber and epoxy substrates, which ultimately ends up as persistent electronic waste. Jiva Materials Soluboard is the first fully recyclable PCB substrate, slashing carbon footprint by about 60% compared with traditional materials. Showcasing this in Taiwan, the world's leading semiconductor hub, which is responsible for roughly 60% of global chip production, will fast-track partnerships with major manufacturers like Lite-On and HP. And yes, I do see this as a significant change. Not only could it redefine end-of-life electronics recycling, but it also signals a shift toward truly circular supply chains. Of course, ensuring consistent electrical performance and scaling to mass production remain challenges, but this marks a pivotal step towards sustainable semiconductors and electronics, I should add.
Thanks, Johannes. And just when it seems technology couldn't advance any further, entrepreneurs are now 3D printing hotels. Austin-based construction company Icon is reimagining how society thinks about building, starting with the creation of the world's first 3D printed desert oasis in Texas. In September 2024, Icon announced it had broken ground on the expansion of El Cosmico, a bohemian-style hotel located in Marfa. The company is using its multi-story 3D printer, the same equipment it used to build hundreds of homes in Georgetown's 3D printed neighborhood. Johannes, what's really remarkable is that the 3D printing materials will be sourced from the desert itself, including local sand, soil, and tone inspired by the terrain. Isn't it astounding what 3D printing can create?
Oh, yes, absolutely, Tiffani. It's truly groundbreaking. Sourcing print material direct from Marfa sands and soils doesn't just slash transportation costs and embodied carbon, it represents a new paradigm in site-specific circular construction. By turning the desert floor into a building palette, Icon is demonstrating how additive manufacturing can harmonize with local ecosystems rather than impose on them. What's even more exciting is the scalability of this approach. If we can fine-tune printable mixes for varied terrains, coastal sands, quarry byproducts, or even recycled demolition debris, we'll unlock rapid, low-impact solutions for affordable housing, emergency shelters, and beyond. The real beauty of this technology lies not only in the form it produces, but in how it redefines our relationship to both material and place.
Thanks, Johannes. And we'll be talking more about 3D printing in our Summit of Things event this October. And we also covered it in our Building Smart and 3D printing webinars. So there's lots of content for you to check out that's pre-existing and coming up. So make sure to check that out. And sticking on the 3D printing topic, Rick Robotics, a specialist developer of mobile 3D construction robotics, says its plans to launch Xerex, the world's first Giantroid, its own word for a 20-foot tall AI-powered general-purpose construction robot. Rick says the robot is designed to be cognitive and ultimately fully autonomous, capable of executing complex and delicate tasks across commercial and industrial job sites. A working prototype is expected in early 2026, marking a significant leap forward in the evolution of robotic construction. And unlike humanoid robots designed to mimic humans, Xerox is purpose-built for construction, capable of performing heavy-duty tasks such as material handling and delicate trades, including welding, assembling, trimming, carpentry, 3D printing, exterior finishing, and more. With 26 degrees of freedom and interchangeable tool mode, battery-powered with self-charging battery packs, Xerox is designed to have complete mobility. Johannes, how do you see this advancement in robotics impacting the construction industry as a whole?
Well, honestly, this feels like a real game changer, Tiffany, for the construction industry. Robotics like RIC's 20-foot tall Zyrex with its 26 degrees of freedom and its self-swapping battery packs and interchangeable tool modules can tackle both heavy material placement and fine trades. Everything from welding and carpentry to 3D concrete printing using LiDAR, visual sensors, and AI trained in real time. At a time when the US faces a shortage of over 439,000 skilled laborers this year, and construction remains the nation's deadliest industry, these machines can fill critical gaps while keeping people out of harm's way. Early models have already slashed project timelines by as much as 75% and cut skilled labor costs by 80%. Costs are also coming down. Zyrex targets a purchase price under $1 million or leasing rate below $20,000 per month. So even mid-sized contractors can experiment with this robot. The biggest hurdle now is regulation. Existing building codes weren't written for robot-executed work, so standard bodies are racing to catch up. Ultimately, widespread adoption will depend on close collaboration amongst developers, code officials, and contractors to ensure safety, quality, and compliance keep up with innovation. On a side note, Tiffany, and you mentioned it already in an earlier topic, over the years we've covered the construction industry numerous times. And nobody's going to be surprised, but let me give you a big rapid rundown of the major challenges the construction industry faces. First, as mentioned, a severe labor shortage. Second, productivity lags behind other sectors with outdated methods causing projects to miss deadlines and exceed budget. Third, there's a widespread resistance to new technology. Legacy practices still dominate job sites, slowing the adoption of digital tools, automation, and AI. Fourth, safety remains a critical concern. Construction is among the nation's most hazardous industries, and despite advanced safety solutions, implementation is inconsistent. Fifth, training and upskilling efforts struggle against low digital literacy and reluctance to change. Finally, cost and time overruns are endemic, worsened by supply chain disruptions, and complex infrastructure regulations often stall progress. To explore these challenges and capitalize on the many opportunities for innovation, download our new 60-page technical report, Challenges and Opportunities in the US Construction Industry today. It's available now in our e-commerce shop, and if you join our community, you'll unlock an exclusive discount on your purchase.
Thanks, Johannes. And a video of an industrial robot going berserk has emerged and gone viral. The video shows a robot hitting a worker at an undisclosed factory in China after what is claimed to be a coding error. In the unsettling clip, the bot is seen dangling from a construction crane on the factory floor near two men who appear to be testing the humanoid droid's abilities. And the two are speaking to each other when all of a sudden the robot begins flailing its arms and legs in a spectacle that some say evokes a failed prototype from the RoboCop movies. At one point, the raging machine lurches forward while swinging and dragging the stand along with it as the men try and avoid getting hit. We have a copy of the footage to share, so let's roll it now. Wow, that was quite the incident. But this isn't the first time an incident like this has occurred. In 2021, a Tesla engineer was attacked by a robot during a brutal and bloody malfunction at the company's Giga Texas factory near Austin. The robot pinned the man, sinking its metal claws into the worker's back and arm, leaving a trail of blood along the factory surface. Let's just be glad that this wasn't involving the 20-foot giant construction robot. But Johannes, on a more serious note, how do we safeguard AI to prevent this from happening again?
Well, Tiffany, to prevent rogue robots like the one that we saw in the viral video, we first need to recognize two broad categories: the traditional industrial robots and the collaborative robots or cobots. Industrial robots, especially humanoid prototypes, must operate inside fully fenced, access-controlled cells. Here, decades of ISO 10218 and NZRIA R15.06 protocols enforce hard guards, emergency stops, and lockout-tagout procedures. By confining any humanoid industrial unit in a locked work cell, unexpected behaviors can't reach human operators. Cobots, by contrast, are designed to work side by side with people. They use real-time force and torque sensing, power and force limiting. So any contact above a safe threshold immediately stops motion. They employ speed and separation monitoring with vision or laser scanners, and safety-rated monitored stops that halt operation the moment someone steps into a predefined zone. On the software side, rigorous validation in digital twins, layered fail-safes, anomaly detection, and human-in-the-loop overrides ensure that even an AI coding error triggers a safe shutdown rather than a berserk rampage. And let me reiterate, a humanoid robot isn't automatically a cobot. We've also seen other videos of humanoid robots in manufacturing. Those need to be treated as industrial robots.
Thanks, Johannes. I mean, I think that no matter what AI system it is still should have some safeguards on it to make sure that it's protecting humans and not attacking us.
Absolutely, Tiffany.
And in our next story, Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, at the Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, has tasked Christopher Sweet, a young man with no government experience, with using artificial intelligence to rewrite the agency's rules and regulations. Chris Sweet has joined the HUD DOGE team with the title of Special Assistant. Sweet's primary role appears to be leading an effort to leverage artificial intelligence to review HUD's regulations, compare them to the laws on which they are based, and identify areas where rules can be relaxed or removed altogether. Johannes, this story is filled with many concerning points, but what are your thoughts on AI being used to rewrite regulations?
Well, Tiffany, first of all, it's important to recognize that AI in this context is simply a sophisticated word processing tool rather than an autonomous rulemaker. In the case of Christopher Sweet's assignment at HUD's DOGE unit, the AI rewrites consist of drafting alternative phrasing or flagging potentially outdated language based on comparison with the underlying statutes, not independently crafting new regulations. True regulatory change still demands human oversight at every step. Any proposed revisions must undergo exhaustive legal reviews, interagency coordination, public notice and comment, and ultimately approving by the relevant committees and executive officers. There is no shortcut around that layered approach. So while AI can accelerate the initial drafting and identification of redundancies, it cannot and should not replace the deliberative, transparent, and accountable mechanisms that underpin our rule-making system. At best, it serves as an efficiency boost for human experts. At worst, without rigorous checks, it risks introducing errors or oversights that experienced regulators would catch.
Thanks, Johannes. And at Alpha School in Brownsville, Texas, it's a part of a growing chain of private institutions that utilize AI to teach core subjects. Instructors act as facilitators for pre-K through 8th grade students working to master customized 30-minute sessions. Teachers throughout Alpha's network, which is expanding into New York City, Houston, Phoenix, and elsewhere this fall, aim to mentor and motivate students while imparting a sense of autonomy as early as preschool. The idea was simple and bold: compress core academics into only 2 hours per day using technology and free up the rest of the day for students to grow in other ways. AI tutors and adaptive apps provide a completely personalized learning experience. After the short morning academic block, the rest of the school day is spent building real-world skills like public speaking, teamwork, and financial literacy. Johannes, there is an overwhelming majority of parents who aren't satisfied with the overall state of schooling. Do you feel we will see more unorthodox models like Alpha become part of our education system?
Well, I'll get to that point, Tiffany, but first of all, let me mention that there is a long line of celebrities who have started their own education ventures. The list includes Oprah, LeBron James, Pitbull, Kanye West, Sean Diddy Combs, Donald J. Trump, and in this example, Elon Musk. But they are not going to solve the challenges that the education industry faces. Several underlying trends are driving change in the education industry. One is the parental dissatisfaction that you mentioned. Then we have the introduction of AI-driven instruction in the classroom, and we have a shift toward hyper-personalized learning. So let me talk a little bit about the parental dissatisfaction. There is a growing frustration among families, whether it's large class sizes, one-size-fits-all curricula, or gaps in social emotional support. As a result, we're seeing a surge in charter and magnet schools, micro schools, and homeschooling co-ops, all offering more flexible, values-aligned environments. Then let me talk about AI-driven instruction. Adaptive learning platforms and intelligent tutoring systems are transforming how teachers work. Real-time performance analytics let educators pinpoint each student's strengths and weaknesses, deliver targeted interventions, and reclaim time for meaningful one-on-one interaction. Of course, this raises new questions about data privacy, algorithmic bias, and the evolving role of the teacher. And then we have the hyper-personalized learning. Moving beyond broad differentiation, truly personalized pathways rely on data-rich profiles from pacing preferences to cognitive styles to craft bespoke learning journeys. Digital portfolios, competency-based assessments, and modular content libraries let learners advance at their own pace, pursuing enrichment or remediation as needed. Early studies suggest engagement and mastery can soar, but school must invest heavily in infrastructures and personal development to make it work. So yes, we will see more unorthodox models like Alpha, but they'll need to address these deeper trends if they're going to deliver on their promise.
Thanks, Johannes. And the US government created an artificial intelligence program that aims to predict the supply and price of critical minerals, which has now been transferred to the control of a nonprofit organization that is helping miners and manufacturers strike supply deals. Launched in late 2023 by the US Department of Defense, the Open Price Exploration for National Security AI Metals program now has more than 30 mining companies, manufacturers, and investors, including auto giant Volkswagen, who have joined the Critical Minerals Forum, nonprofit, and will be its first users, according to Rob Strayer, a former US diplomat and the organization's president. Armed with an AI model used to calculate what a metal should cost when labor, processing, and other costs are factored in, and market manipulation is factored out, it thus gives buyer and seller confidence in a deal's economics. Johannes, do you feel this is an attempt for the CMF to curb their reliance on foreign exports of rare earth minerals?
Well, Tiffany, with 2020 hindsight, I do see this as a move and as a deliberate strategy by the CMF to curb dependence on foreign, particularly Chinese, exports of rare earth minerals. The CMF aims to help manufacturers curb their reliance on China by signing more metal supply deals with Western mines, according to more than 24 industry consultants, purchasing agents, analysts, regulators, and investors. So by providing transparent AI-driven cost forecasts that strip out market manipulation, the CMF not only levels the negotiation field for Western producers, but also bolsters confidence among downstream manufacturers. While it remains to be seen how accurately the model can forecast prices in such a volatile market, its adoption by major players like Volkswagen signals a clear intent to diversify supply, encourage domestic mining investments, and reduce strategic vulnerabilities associated with over-reliance on a single source.
Thanks, Johannes. And that's all we have time for today. So thank you for joining us for our first broadcast as Tech Scope News. And before we go, we'd like to invite you to attend some incredible virtual events coming up that will be hosted by IoT Marketing. We have the Intelligent Thinking AI Summit coming up this July and the Summit of Things this October. And we also have opportunities for speaking, sponsorship, and thought leadership. IoT Marketing also offers strategy and consulting services, branding and PR, as well as content creation, design services, and production. So please register for our upcoming events and learn more about all of our services at iotmktg.com. Do you have a final message for us, Johannes?
Well, this is definitely a year where there's a lot of news, and whereas a manufacturer or service provider, you need to rise above the noise. So talk to us, sign up for one of our events. We can help you, and we can help your voice get out there and reach out to more customers.
Thank you, Johannes, and thank you all for joining us. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Tiffani.
Thank you.